Mzee Jomo Kenyatta alikuwa ni rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Ila chimbuko lake Kenyatta tumepata kuliongelea sana katika vipindi vyetu hapa ndani ya Drums of History, na leo tunamwangazia nduguye Jomo Kenyatta mdogo aliyetambulikana kama James Muigai Johnston ama James Muigai Kenyatta. Ndugu huyu wake mdogo Kenyatta alilelewa naye Kenyatta kama mwanao. Hii ilifanyika baada ya mamake Kenyatta Wamboi kupata kuiaga dunia wakati alikuwa akijifungua kijana huyu. Hivyo Kenyatta alimchukua mdogo wake na kuanza kumlea. Pale ilimbidi ahamie kwa babu yake Peter Magana. Na Kenyatta alifanya vema kwa nduguye, maana Kenyatta baada ya kugundua ya kwamba wazungu wameshaanza kuingia kule katika kule kaunti ya Kiambu, alikwenda na nduguye na kuanza kusoma naye katika Church of the Scotland Mission, mahali ambapo walianza kufunzwa jinsi ya kuishi maisha ya Kikristo. Kenyatta wakati ule akitambulikana kama Kamau wa Muigai, na pia baadaye kubadili jina na kuitwa Kamau wa Gengi, na mwishowe kutambulikana kama Jomo Kenyatta. Nduguye akitambulikana kama Muigai alikuja kuwa ndiye mwanafunzi wa kwanza kusajiliwa katika shule ya upili ya Alliance High School mwaka 1926 1926. Mtaniruhusu kidogo nibadili ndimi, wapenzi wa lugha ya Kiswahili, maana hapa itabidi nipate kunukuu kuhusiana na mahojiano ambayo yaliweza kufanywa na gazeti la la Nation kuhusiana na maisha. Gazeti hili lilipata kumhoji nduguye Kenyatta kabla ya kuiaga dunia, Bwana James Muigai. Alikuwa mwalimu na alikuwa ni mtu ambaye alitambulikana sana kwa katika sekta ya walimu na katika wizara za wanafunzi hapa nchini Kenya, wizara za walimu samahani na elimu. We got down kulingana na aliyekuwa kimoji, alimuuliza, tell us how you happened to be in the number 1 student in the register of Alliance Boys of Alliance High School, and why the name James Muigai Johnston. Here is his story. He was born in a family of 3 other brothers. The elder Kongo had died. The second brother Kamau Muigai survived, while the third of his brother disappeared in the World War I. Now, the first 3 sons were born to Wamboi and her husband Muigai. When Muigai died, Wamboi was inherited by Muigai's brother Gengi in accordance with old customs of the Kikuyu community. With Gengi, Wamboi gave birth to a son who they named Muigai in memory of a dead husband, and this is James Muigai. They were not, hawakuwa watoto wa mama mmoja. James Muigai na Jomo Kenyatta hawakuwa watoto wa baba mmoja, maana Kenyatta alikuwa ni mwanawe Muigai, ila alikuwa ni mwanawe Muigai, ndio maana alitambulikana kama Kamau wa Muigai. Alafu baada ya kifo cha babake Kenyatta, mamake Wamboi akaridhiwa na mjombake Kenyatta ambaye alitambulikana kama Gengi. Hivyo ikambidi Kenyatta abadili jina lake na kujiita Kamau wa Gengi, ambaye alikuwa ni mjombake na sasa alikuwa ni babake, maana alikuwa kamridhi mamake Wamboi. Na Gengi pamoja na Wamboi walipata kumzaa mwanao wa kwanza akiwa ni Muigai, na Wamboi alimuita jina mwanawe huyu ambaye walimpata na Gengi jina Muigai kwa sababu ya ukumbusho wa mmewe ambaye alikuwa kaiaga dunia. It is the later who grew up to be student number 1 at Alliance High School. His mother Wamboi died not long after he was born, leaving him to be brought up by his elder brother Kamau wa Muigai, now called Kamau wa Gengi. The latter was among the first converts to Christianity when missionaries from Scotland set camp at Kikuyu area in Kiambu, and where He was baptized Johnston, which is also a name that was given to his elder brother Kamau Wangengi, known to many as Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. He also took his kid brother from the ritual where he was baptized. He took for the ritual where he was baptized as James. So Kenyatta walikuwa ni kati ya watu wa kwanza walioasi mila, desturi na itikadi za Kikuyu na kuweza kujitosa katika masomo ya Kikristo na kuwa absorbed katika dini ya Kikristo. Maana Kenyatta alikuwa mjanja sana na aligundua mazuri yaliyokuja na wakoloni. Later, when Alliance High School opened at Kikuyu, Johnston Kamau was the first to show up seeking admission for his kid brother. Akimtambua nduguye mdogo kama mwanawe yeye. Now, being his guardian, the student was entered in the register as James Muigai Johnston. Ananikukumbushe, wakati huu Kenyatta already alikuwa ameshamuoa mkewe wa kwanza akiwa ni Grace Wahuu Kenyatta, ambaye inaaminika alipata kumuoa mwaka 1919. No, not long after Johnston Kamau fully immersed him being his guardian. Tukirudia story kuhusu kuadmitiwa pale katika shule ya upili Alliance, being his guardian, the student was entered in the register as James Muigai Johnston. Not long after Johnston Kamau fully immersed himself into politics and changed his name to Jomo Kenyatta, who became independent Kenyan's first president. Mzee Muigai proceeded to tell his first day at high school, na nitamnukuu mzee. He says it was like we had just been dropped in the middle of nowhere. All around the school was thick bushes and we feared wild animals who would make a feast of us come darkness. Incidentally, to date, Alliance High School alumni refer to their school as Bush and themselves as Busharians. Now, founding headmaster G.A. Grieve was to record in his diary about the first day at Alliance. The school comprised of two wooden structures tucked in the middle of thick bushes. At daybreak, I walked around the school through the grass. There were no paths to the school as an indigenous forest of wild olives hid the compound from the main muddy road of red Kikuyu soil, which became impassable during the rains. The pioneer head teacher main worry that day was whether the admitted students would find their way to the school. He, with his only helper, the school competitor, had cut a 2-kilometer path through the bush and undergrowth and kept their fingers crossed that new students would somehow find their way to the bush school. Luckily they did. The head teacher was delighted to see them and wrote in his diary, I got out of the house and took a deep breath. The boys had arrived. They were sitting barefoot beside their wooden boxes, which contained their worldly possessions. They looked very big and very old. Now, Mzee Muigai told the media that in the class of 1927, the youngest boy was Eliud Madhu, who was 20 years, and the oldest was Magugu Waweru, who was 27 years. Now imagine, these are people that have joined high school and they are reigning from the age of 20 to the age of 27. At this admission, the latter had been an headmaster to a junior primary school at the coast where he had been posted. He had been posted after graduating from upper primary and qualified as a teacher. Mzee Muigai told us that Alliance of their days, academic excellence came second to discipline. We were taught that excelling in algebra and speaking good English were only useful if we were first and foremost orderly people who knew what best to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Personal hygiene and dressing for the occasion were also part of the mandatory requirements at Alliance of those days, the old man said. Now, in regards to his association with Big Brother, after Alliance, Mzee Muigai, like almost every other Alliance High School student those days, ended up a primary school teacher and rose through the ranks to be inspector of schools at the time of his retirement. Now, it speaks that those days teachers and African school inspectors were shorts and long stockings. Not even a single day did I fail to be in my uniform. Indeed, to date, Mzee Muigai, who passed away 23 years ago, is still remembered as Mr. Getoki, Mr. Stockings, which was his nickname in his long career as a teacher and inspector of schools. Did he seek favors from his brother President Jomo Kenyatta after independence? That's a question that was asked to him, and he said, "What for?" He replied, a bit offended to the question, as he explained, by the time his brother came out of colonial detention in 1957, he was already a top civil servant with a good salary. Actually, he says that he was the one who lent Kenyatta money to buy his first suit before becoming the president. Yani yeye ndiye aliyemkopesha Kenyatta pesa za kwanza ambazo Kenyatta alizitumia kununua suti yake ya kwanza kabla ya kuja kuwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Now, even in the later years of their life, Mzee Muigai says he did not need favors from his brother because the environment was conducive for him to allow ordinary people then to invest without cutting shortcuts. He says, I could go to a bank and take a loan to buy a coffee farm and use proceeds from the same farm to service the loan. So why bother my brother just because he's at a state house? Certainly that is not the discipline we were taught at Alliance. Hayo ndio maneno kuhusiana na uhusiano wake na nduguye Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Yeah, that's what's up kulingana na ndugu wao wawili James Muigai na nduguye Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Kumbuka Jomo alimlea nduguye, ila wawili hao walizaliwa na mama moja, ila hawakuwa watoto wa baba mmoja. Ni hayo kwa sasa wadau, tuungane katika video zetu zijazo. Yani kuna kitu fulani hivi pia nimepata kurealize katika nyakati tulizo sasa. James Muigai na Mzee Jomo Kenyatta would be cousins and again brothers, because Mzee Jomo Kenyatta's father was a brother to Ngengi, the man who inherited his mother Wamboi, and then Ngengi and Wamboi bore a son who was Muigai. This son Muigai is a brother to Kenyatta, and yet Kenyatta was calling Ngengi his uncle before he came to be his dad. His story ingine very complicated, but that's it for now. What's up? What do you say about this? Achia maoni yako kwenye comment section. Tuungane katika video zetu zijazo. Kumbuka hii ni FM Show KE na kipindi ya wahanu ni The Drums of History.